Hello, good evening. Live Audiophile Roundtable. And my name is Steve Westman. The quest for the best sounding albums, Part 7, Part 8. I don't even know. I can't even keep track anymore. So, welcome. Happy to be here, guys. It's been a few weeks. I had a lot of viewers text me and ask me, "Where have you been, Steve? What have you been up to?" But been busy with work and, of course, family issues, that type of thing, or not issues, but family things. I'm glad to be back. It's going to be a fun show today. Talk, of course, records, lots of news going on. But before I start, I mean, all our friends that are hopefully safe in Florida, we wish them well, of course. And I saw this picture today. This must be one of our viewers that wants to save their record collection. Check this out. This is a house in Florida, strapping down his roof. I guess he's worried his records will fly out. So I'm a little bit suspect about the straps there, if they can actually withstand all that wind, but pretty smart idea if it works. Saw that on Twitter today. Thought that was really cool. But anyways, guys, welcome to the show. We'll get our amazing panel on right away. We'll get Michael T on. Where's he? Michael T?
Hey, how you doing?
It's been a few minutes. How are you?
Good to be back on.
Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we had Shane on last, I believe. So
Yeah.
nice to
Was
have
that
you back.
3 weeks ago? I think it was a while ago.
Oh gosh, might have been. Next up, Stereophile approved, Patrick Peebethal. How are you?
I'm good.
You even miss me. You were even getting worried.
I was like, oh man, what's going on with this dude?
I know.
So
what's going on?
I was literally that close to like texting you, like, and I don't text anybody. So.
I know you don't. You do not text people.
No.
There you go. So, and then we have a fourth today, Jefferson at Tublandia. There he is. How are you, Jefferson?
Doing great, Steve. Hey, everybody. Nice to see you again.
Welcome.
And just wanted to also mention that, I hope all our people in Florida are safe, and also mention that there's a lot of people in North Carolina that are still reeling from Helene. And so those folks also need your support and help too. I mean, it's a crazy hurricanes the last two we're having. So please remember Florida, and please remember North Carolina too.
So you saw that picture I sent you. This is actually legit. This is actually someone in Florida that did this to their roof. I mean, I'm curious to know how they strapped that down, because I mean that's just going to
probably drove a stake in it. They drove a stake into the yard, I would imagine, and pounded a stake.
But if that works, that's some bragging rights right there. I think a lot more.
If it doesn't, that stake's going to come flying through their freaking window.
Well, I was going to say, through the windows or smash other things or fly. The cars are right. Look at this. The cars are right here. Right. Look at the cars. Like you look here, it's going to smash in that pickup truck. It's going to smash in that Toyota 4Runner, whatever that is over there.
Just strapped it to the pickup truck.
You know what?
How are the straps going to hold the shingles? What's going to keep the shingles from flying off that roof? I mean,
I've been through quite a few hurricanes in my lifetime, being from South Texas. So I've never seen anybody do anything like that.
Me either.
So you can't just go to Harbor Freight Tools and buy some straps and save your house?
I don't know how those are being strapped down. That's for sure. But no, guys, thanks for joining. I guess we were missed. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mac. Awesome. And then Osami, he says here, like, the legitimate way of securing the roof. There you go. That's kind of cool. And then I think we'll start off right now. The Doors Rhino Hi-Fi Secret's out. I mean, it's out. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I'll start with Patrick. Or is it 3,000?
Go with me last, because I want to grab something.
Michael T.
Well, let's talk about it first, because I've only heard some things.
I'm going to go 1 second. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to the website where they actually.
What is the story? In case somebody missed it.
Okay, the story is the Doors from 1967 to 71. 6 LP set will arrive November 22nd. The Rhino High Fidelity Audiophile Vinyl Series. Original analog master tapes cut by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. The vinyl pressed at Optimal. 3,000 copies, limited edition box set, November 22nd, which is a Friday. But just so everyone knows, it's the same drill as the ZZ Top box. So if you don't get the box, if it sells out, they're going to have the individual records available, non-numbered, of course. That's the story.
What I'm wondering about is Chad had to cut the first album, the debut album, from a copy because the original tape was in bad shape. But now they're saying that the first album from the Doors is being cut from the original master tape. So I'm wondering, how's that happening?
Well, I think it was the mono where the tape was missing.
No, that's the stereo tape. Going back to the DCC, there were issues with the first tape. So
But Chad has publicly said that they used a dub, a safety copy for that.
All you need is this right here.
Here
This
it
is
is.
all you
So
ever need.
hey, Steve,
Right
Mazzy,
here.
Mazzy,
First of all, what are we looking at there? Just so folks who are just listening, what are you
This
putting
is
up?
the Doors Infinite box set, 45 RPM, cut by Analog Productions. This is the, in my opinion, the creme de la creme. I have the DCCs, all of them. I have all the original, the ones to have, and this cannot be touched. This can't be touched. So I would be shocked. I would be shocked if this even comes close to this. But these albums should be in print. So pressing 3,000 of these is not acceptable to me. They should just keep these in print, like Black Sabbath. Just keep printing them until they don't stop buying.
Well, no, but you missed my thing. I mean, the box set's 3,000, but they'll have individual ones cut by Kevin till the next 100 years until no one buys them.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah,
I'm seeing in the comments though, the first album will not be the master tape. That's from Mazzy.
Even the DCC wasn't. I think they had to patch the DCC.
Yeah, and Bruce Botnick was in the room. I was fortunate enough to see video of Bruce Botnick and Kevin listening to the master tapes. Pretty cool stuff. And so that's big news. I'm not surprised. Of course, I knew, but
so can we go through the album titles? There's 6 titles. What are they? They're The Doors, Strange Days. Mm-hmm. What's next?
In chronological order?
Yeah, what are the 6
titles? Waiting for the Sun.
Waiting for the Sun.
And then Strange Days after that.
No. Strange Days is second.
Second, and then Waiting for the Sun.
Yeah, Waiting for the Sun, and then after that comes what the hell?
Morrison Hotel.
No, is it Morrison? Yeah, Morrison Hotel.
Morrison Hotel.
The Saw Parade, then Morrison Hotel. Then we go to the LA Woman, which has
the last
butterfly.
one, 1970.
The butterfly label.
So okay, so let me ask you.
What's the asking price for that, by the way?
So 6 LPs. We had how many LPs on the ZZ Top? Remind me.
Is it like 240? It's like 60. It's like 40.
I thought that.
What was it for ZZ Top? Just tell me.
That was 5. I think it was 5 LPs, and it was $199, wasn't it?
So remember, Rhino charges what, $39.95 per record?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 6 records, so that's $240. I assume it's going to be $250. Maybe a little bit more because it's a box set and there's a little bit of there's some inserts. So $250, $280 is my guess. Maybe $299. Is that reasonable? Maybe $240. Depends. I don't know. It might be $240. I think the ZZ Top was just $40 per record, even in the box set. I haven't gotten pricing. I haven't gotten pricing confirmation from Rhino. I don't know. So I think I'm going to guess between $240 and $280. But anyways, my question to you guys and to everyone that's watching, are you going to buy the 33 RPM Kevin Gray cut Doors albums individually, or going to splurge on the box?
I'm not buying the box, that's for sure.
No? We have
probably individually for me. Probably individually.
I might buy one. I might buy one and test it out.
Yeah, I agree with Patrick. I mean, I also agree with Patrick that the 45 RPMs by Analog Productions are the creme de la creme, and they're not going to be beat. I got a soft spot for the originals just because I find them a lot and I like the way they sound. But in terms of audiophile quality, the 45s are it. I doubt I'll get the box. Like I said, maybe one to test out, but it just seems weird on the heels of the UHQR of LA Woman that there's now another Doors box set, and it's like, okay, are we saturating the market, or did we communicate with each other, or is that just kind of how it worked out?
Well, I mean, 45 RPM, right? The other Doors. So I mean, this is the 33s. It's like the Bad Company when Chad did the 45, and then Rhino's doing the 33 of the Bad Company. I mean, this is what we're doing. We're getting different options now of the RPMs.
Well, but this one is 33. This guy.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's on UHQR Clarity vinyl. So I mean, there's the thing, right?
I suspect Chad caught wind of the box set coming, and he wanted to get that LA Woman out before that came out.
You have to understand, it's a Rhino. Rhino would have approved it, and I know that Patrick Milligan had the test pressings of that UHQR prior to it being released. So I knew that was going to be released prior to most people knowing that, right? So, yeah, I mean, so I guess Rhino allowed it. Rhino's the one that can say yay or nay on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, like I said, there's so much stuff out there, and I'm so focused on originals right now that I can't see spending the money on something that I know won't be better than what I already have. So it's a tough call. Now, if they have a bunch of pictures of the tape boxes in the box, maybe it'll
Yeah.
be different. I love that tape box porn, but I mean,
Well, you're gonna
that's
see
it.
that. That's gonna be there.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee.
Mhm.
So are
Why
they
would anyone do a
actually?
self-titled mono UHQR? That thing sounds horrible. ERC just did a super UHQR and it sounded horrible. So
Oh
So,
yeah.
David Bixenspan, who has the old DCC metal? I think I asked Steve Hoffman when he was on. I think the
they
metal's still
destroyed it,
around.
didn't they?
No, I think he said he's still there. It's still around, but he says it doesn't matter. I'm like, well, okay, why? Because you need the licensing, Steve. So I'm like,
Yeah, you got to
okay,
license it.
whatever. Who cares? And I think he says it's probably not going to happen. So I believe it. I believe that's what he said. You'd have to go back and watch that interview.
They could make a pretty penny if they repress the DCC Doors titles. They obviously can get the licensing.
But that's a Rhino thing, so Rhino would have to allow it. So I don't think they're going to, because they talk about oversaturation at that point. That would be not a smart business decision.
So is the new box set being issued as a Rhino High Fidelity title?
So it's Rhino High Fidelity.
Okay.
So it's going to be. So think of it as ZZ Top, but the Doors.
So I mean, so let's hold on. I'm gonna rewind a second.
The ZZ
DCC
Top
thing.
box as a
why,
Doors, sorry.
why wouldn't you, instead of doing this Rhino High Fidelity box set, why wouldn't you do a throwback to yesteryear audiophile and redo the DCCs, all the DCCs, and make a box set of that? That would be an audiophile dream. People would clamor for that. Absolutely go crazy. Say, the sound, the sound of 1985. Yes, those DCCs you've been paying $200 a pop for. You got a box full of them now, man.
But how are they going to recreate
wouldn't that go against?
They've got the plates.
Would this go? But this would go against everything. This would go against all of those reissues currently today, saying these reissues are the best because they're mastered by the best. They got the best equipment. We can, but
I've
in the best.
I've got Jethro
right?
Tull Aqualung up there, UHQR that was cut from the classic plates. They recut them from the classic plates. I've got it right there.
So basically what you're saying is that not every single reissue that's mastered today sounds better than the ones that were remastered 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. That's been always the argument.
And I still say it's not. I still say it's on a case-by-case basis. And those DCCs, people revere those things. It doesn't matter if they're the best of the best. The Black Sabbath Rhino is not the best, in my opinion, but they still put it out, right? So
Black Sabbath box, no, Tony, but there's a possibility of another Black Sabbath Rhino hi-fi in the future. So that'd be.
I mean, if you get the licensing, even as just do 1,000 of them, I guarantee you they'd sell out. I guarantee you they would sell out. People. So
I think we want the Hoffman Magic. We're gonna bring Hoffman back. We get some Hoffman Magic back here. That would sell out. DCC Hoffman Gray.
Yeah.
I think we need him back.
That's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually. But I mean, who owns that DCC name now? That was Hoffman and Gray at the
no, Marshall Blotnick or something like that. Marshall
Blonstein or Blonstein.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy who started Audio Fidelity afterwards?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes. So I would assume he would own the metal, but he doesn't own the licensing. So it's
right.
That's the same as That's the same as Chad. All these years, we thought Chad had the metal for Led Zeppelin. We find out that he doesn't. So there you go. He'd have to get it all remastered. Yeah.
I'm sure there might be a special storage somewhere that has those plates.
Fremer said that there's no vinyl or there's no metal. He was on the show and I asked him that.
Did somebody see them destroy them?
So what happened with that was that Zeppelin went after them after they put the 45 road
box
set out because that wasn't approved by them. So they took everything back.
Yeah. Oh, we lost.
They weren't happy about the 45 RPM releases. They didn't get permission. So Hobson released it without Zeppelin's permission.
There's some great audiophile reissues from years ago that are phenomenal. That would be, if they redid them, recut them for the metal parts, they would make a fortune. So the DCC being one, a lot of the early speakers corners that people love so much is another. Yeah.
So is this? I think this is the box it'll look like. I pulled this off that article as well.
That's like the old
No, that's an old one.
Years ago. Yeah,
I
that looks like the old one.
That was 2008.
That was on the website on the announcement
that's an old box set I used to own.
So it's old.
If they're recycling that's pretty cheesy.
That's a 2008 box
Yeah.
set, and that was
I-
digital
Isn't
cut.
that the
I
Rhino-
expected
didn't Rhino
to,
do
I
that
expected to look more like
Yeah.
the ZZ Top box set is what
It
I
was a
expected to
digital
look
cut.
like.
Those were all digital cuts.
Yeah, they were digital for sure.
It wasn't horrible,
Yeah.
but they
I
were
sold
not
it
great.
actually. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I sold mine in Canada.
so big news, MoFi. I mean, check this out. You guys all know, but Fleetwood Mac Tango in the Night, $59 or $60, 45 RPM. What do you guys think?
Now that's a great sounding record to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
look at some of the songs, right? I mean, you've got
It's a great- yep, yep.
Big Love Everywhere, Seven Wonders, and Little Lies, which is a huge song in its day. Half-inch, 30 IPS analog master to DSD 256 to live.
But did you guys know there's a Chris Bellman cut that sounds amazing? Also, I own it. Prested Optimal or Palace.
How many years ago did that get mastered?
That was part of the. They did a box set, right? The box set of that era.
I have that individually. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
And
that would
they
be-
also did it
and
for
that would be
Vinyl Me
from the-
Please.
And that would be from the analog tapes.
Yeah, and Ryan K. Smith did it for earlier this year for Vinyl Me Please.
I mean, Lindsey Buckingham was meticulous in recording that record.
was.
That thing is absolutely
Yes.
immaculate. So that's a great
Yeah.
sounding record. I'm curious as to what that's going to sound like.
But they're going up against Chris Bellman and Ryan K. Smith, so we'll see how it sounds like. They've both
Speaking
cut
of
it recently.
speaking of VMP, Michael T, I had reached out to the CEO of VMP, said, "Hey, you should come on the show. I want to chat with you and get viewers interactive, ask some questions." I've asked. He did respond back finally, and then he's like, "Okay, what type of time frame are you looking at?" And I let him know, and haven't heard since. That was more than 2-3 weeks ago. So I emailed again today and said, "Hey, what happened to you? Love to have you back on." So we'll see if he comes back on. Is it Matt Fielding? I think his name is. I'm curious to know. Curious to get him on the show. Ask him some questions. I call VMP is like the Costco of the vinyl industry, right? With the subscription base.
Except they've gone up to like almost $60 a record now.
Yeah, except they don't have the Costco pricing.
Yeah, yeah.
And they got rid of the rock tree, right? They got rid of the rock.
Yeah, they got and country too. They got rid of rock and country.
Well, think about it. I
don't
mean,
know. It seems
they're
to
going where the people are going to buy, right? At this point.
Are they? Because they've come up short on the Ramones and the Black Sabbath and a couple other
Okay,
releases.
so what does that mean? Coming up short? What does that mean?
Well, they didn't fulfill a lot of people that ordered it, or they didn't allow the swaps to. I'm not a member of Vinyl Me Please,
Okay.
because
I think
I've
I'm
never
two
really
of them.
understood
Two.
their business model. I don't know why I can't just do like record of the month, and I'll give you 40 a month, and then you let me pick what I want. So I never understood that, but I've got a few releases, and they're cute, and I like what they
They're
do
cute.
when they do it.
They're
Exactly.
packaged nice. They're packaged nice.
Yeah, exactly, and it's nice to get the prints and stuff. But I don't.
And
think
they do have the provenance on there. They'll tell you what if it's AAA, and so
Yes,
I like
and
that.
I appreciate the honesty with that a lot, but or the transparency, I should say. But I also can't think of a single one that doesn't best the original, or where the original doesn't best the VMP, or some other audiophile version doesn't best it. But like I said, they're cute.
They're cute.
What a damning statement that is.
No, I mean I like them. I have a lot, but
It's like saying she's got a great personality.
yeah. They have a
So you
great
got here's
personality.
the thing. We're sort of have this vinyl hangover the last 4 or 5 years. I know we've talked about it in nauseum, but do you guys get as excited now when your package has been shipped, knowing that it's going to come from Vinyl Me Please or Acoustic Sounds to your house, or is it like okay, it's coming, I'll open it up whenever? Back in the day, I would be tracking it to the last second, hoping that it comes into my mailbox. I can get home from work and open it up.
New
and listen to
reissues?
it.
Nah,
I'm not into.
yeah,
I'm not as
into that.
excited now. No.
Yeah.
But if I
I'll give
buy
you
something online, a used thing or something, yeah, I'm ready for that to come in for sure.
I'll give you an analogy. I remember Netflix back in the day when they were physically sending DVDs to you, and you had a queue, and it work your way down the queue. And then by the time, say, the new Star Wars Phantom Menace got to you, it was like, okay, well, I'm not really in the mood for that now. I mean, it's kind of how I look at it, reissues. I mean, yeah, buying something used. I just got a Parliament online, Funkadelic America Eats Its Young. I've been looking for a long time, and I'm super stoked about that. But in terms of the mail, nothing excites me versus being in the wild, flipping through the stacks, and then finding something really cool.
I just went to a record show,
original.
came home with 60 records.
Is that all? That's low for you, man.
I was flying. I had to put them on a plane.
I see. Well, they got these cool roll-around travel cases. I bought one when I went to New York. But yeah, I mean, you store like 60 records behind my booth when you're in San Francisco, it seemed like, and then you went out and go get more.
Oh, one other thing, I just remembered Humble Pie smoking Analog Productions, October 18th.
45, 33. Who's cutting it?
It's 33 is what it is.
33 RPM. But here's the thing: it's a half-inch flat tape copy of the original master.
Okay, so
But
who's
are
cutting
they?
it?
Kevin Gray.
So he saying the same thing he did with the one before. He did it for Cisco. He did the was that Cisco or was it early Analog Productions? He did it. I have it. So
Okay.
So he's gonna
See if I can
master
find it.
it,
And that's
right? He's not
October.
gonna-
And that's October 18th. That one is coming out.
Right, but he's not gonna cut it flat like ERC or someone like that. He's gonna actually master it, right?
Right. Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. Well, even, you know what? Remember that controversy where the Steely Dan Asia, the UHQR, that Bernie used a copy of the master that was EQ'd? Even in the interview that he had with Chad and Donald Fagen was on there and the other fellow, Bernie even said that he still EQ'd it and still
course.
adjusted it from that EQ'd copy. So from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. So what I've noticed is A&M Records in the 90s did a lot. I've gone back and researched it. They did a lot of 30 IPS half-inch safety copies of their catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So anyone to get that Humble Pie then? Is my question. How much is it? Hang on. How much is it?
$40.
$40. $40.
That's reasonable.
It is.
Yeah. It's press the
Anyone?
QRP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw Chad's video about that, and he said that I guess they did it years ago. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's now going for like $200, and he was online
Patrick
for the
has it in his hand.
the other one.
That's a $200 one there.
Yeah, this is Analog Productions early.
Right.
I've got two of them.
I often wonder, does Chad see the secondary market and then he starts repressing stuff? Because
He has
I remember during the pandemic, right? But I was the original subscriber to the Prestige mono and stereo. They were 25 each, and they sold out, and then they were going online for like crazy money, and then he okay, these are going for crazy money, but we finally got the licenses, and then he started redoing them again. And I'm just curious. I mean, does he see the secondary market and say,
Is Christopher Cordova saying they're reissuing the same plates? Is that what Christopher's saying? Are they just using these plates?
Or is he asking that question?
I think he's making a statement, but it's not clear. Sounds like a statement. I don't recall him saying that.
All it says in the website is mastered by Kevin Gray.
Well, he did
from
this
a half-inch flat copy.
He did this one at Acoustic.
Mm-hmm. Well, then it must be being redone then, because unless they're using those Acoustic plates.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
There you go. There it is.
Do they mention coherent audio in that?
Yeah, it says it right there.
If it's coherent audio, then it's been recut.
Yeah.
It says, well, look, it says mastered by Kevin Gray. That's what it says.
What else does it say?
That's it. From a half-inch flat tape copy.
Yeah, could have been Acoustic then.
So it could be the plates.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, if there's an 8 and at ATM, it means Acoustic.
Mm-hmm. That's what it says in mine. I didn't realize I had two of those things.
You can sell one now, Patrick. Buy the wife a gift.
I thought I could have sworn Cisco had a smoking too, but maybe it's wrong.
Well, didn't Chad do that with Miles Davis's Kind of Blue? Those are old classic plates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Kind of Blue with that. He also did that with was it David Crosby? Some of the Genesis ones were from old classic plates.
Oh, okay.
From the Genesis AP were from the classic plates.
Right.
Like Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 3 of them were, I think, or was it Selling England? One of them has 3 of them were the old cuts, and one of them was a new cut by Chris Bellin.
So I got in the mail last week, Green Day, Because Sound Matters, are coming out with a one step of American Idiot, and I was able to get the test pressing of American Idiot from Grover from Because Sound Matters, and this is a full record. I mean, there's a lot going on sound-wise in a Green Day American Idiot. And I mean, in the one step, this was mastered by Levi Seitz, who had on the show before Michael, and I think a lot of people are going to be really excited to get, if they want to pick up an American Idiot one step. Fantastic.
And October 25th, I believe, right, on that one?
Hopefully get Grover and Levi on the show around that time. I'll work on that so we can talk about that. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, American Idiot test press looks great.
Hey, someone is saying in the comments that the website says that that the Humble Pie is mastered at coherent, so it must be a recut.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. Well, it just says mastered by Kevin Gray here, unless it can go down. I don't know.
Check out the comment. It says mastered at coherent on the description on Acoustic Sounds.
Cut by Kevin Gray at coherent audio with the most intense attention paid to every minute detail. Okay, I didn't read all the way down, so that's what it says there.
That's a recut.
So that would be that would be a recut then, Patrick.
Yeah,
that's great. Glenn has, hey, look at this. Glenn has the Because Sound Matters pre-order. That'll be good. Yeah, the Linkin Parks are great, and you guys will be. This will be great. And this is 33 RPM.
I've heard people say some of those Linkin Parks are not great.
I've had no problem with it.
I like the one I got. I have one only.
Yeah, I don't have a frame of reference. I was never a big Linkin Park person, so I don't know.
It's a one step. It basically it's still a one step. It's just that it's coming from a file.
Yep.
So Levi said in his last interview that they basically cut 5 sets of every title. So they could do one.
Why didn't they cut from the tapes?
I think was American Idiot recorded digitally?
I think it was recorded digitally.
I think so.
It says Green Day is from 192 files from original master tapes.
American Idiot. Oh, really?
Okay. So it was tracked digitally and mixed to tape. That's what I heard.
It was kind of like the Nightfly.
Yeah, tracked digitally.
Yeah.
But Dookie is a full analog, which I think Chris Bellman's cutting that one for Because Sound Matters.
You should do 39 smooth.
Guess we'll see. I've enjoyed mine. That's for sure. And what date is that? October? What you said?
I think it's October 25th.
Yeah. All right, check this out. Here's what people are buying at Acoustic Sounds. Top 10. Oh, I'm screwing this up already. The Count and Dizzy Gillespie, The Gifted Ones, Chico Freeman, Stone Temple Pilots Purple, Simon and Garfunkel Bookends, Giant Steps, Coltrane, Steely Dan Gaucho, Core, STP, Coltrane, and there's Coltrane. And
those are all Super Audio CDs.
I know. That's what's selling right now, right?
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong.
That's been out of print for a while. He just repressed it. That was going for a lot of money. That's kind of an audiophile playback system checker.
Well, check Louis Armstrong, first place. Wow.
It's been selling for in the hundreds. That's why.
Yeah.
It's been out of print for a while.
Yeah.
Anyone buying that?
I'm gonna probably get that. It's been repressed. Yeah, it's from classic. Someone said it's Bernie got it for classic, but there's also a 12-inch version of one of the songs, 12-inch single. It sounds really good.
Rick's V's Bookends prob sounds really good. Anyone have Bookends? And want to comment? I know Mazzy has Bookends. I'm sure he'll say it's.
I like my Bookends in mono. I like the mono version of Bookends better than the stereo version of Bookends.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
What I heard about Bookends is. Yeah, the vinyl supposedly sounds good, but the CD does not. The SA CD does not sound good, is what I heard.
So the SA CD is not mastered by. It's a new mastering engineer.
It's a new mastering engineer named Neil something or another. And people are not very happy with that one. But the vinyl sounds good from what I heard.
So what is the why is it not? Why doesn't it sound very good? What is
Mo-Fi always has separate mastering suites for SA CD and vinyl.
Yeah.
And mastering engineers.
You think they would use the same reference, right? If they've mastered it on vinyl already, you would think they would listen to it and say, "Okay, that's our reference for the vinyl. Let's try to keep it within that sound for the SACD," wouldn't you? You would think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wonder how Mo-Fi is doing these days. I mean, you got I think on our banner.
I don't know. I got a record in the mail from them, so obviously they were making ship. So.
Our banner here, we've got Michael Jackson Off the Wall. That comes out sometime in January. How many is that limited to? That was limited to, I want to say, is it 5,000 or 8,000? The Jackson Off the Wall.
7,500.
And it's a better record than Thriller.
So.
Much
great
better.
Great record. I mean, that's almost one that. I mean, I don't think that's going to sell it. I'm not worried about having to pre-order that one, but that's one that I'm thinking about purchasing.
Yeah, supposedly they just sold out of the new Santana at 33 and the third. So I mean, they're doing
Yeah,
okay.
it's fine. But how many did they?
Sold out.
But how many
Sold
did they
out.
press? We don't know how many they pressed. They could have pressed 2,000. They could have pressed 1,000.
Well,
They
mine
didn't
says
probably.
1,427.
Yeah,
So
it doesn't
they didn't
matter.
lose that many.
Does not matter what it says on there. It makes no
Well,
difference.
that's the number of the jacket. So, yeah.
We learned. Hey, we
Yeah.
learned from my research that the old MFSL they were pressing Beatles boxes number ones 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Number 2 is the same. Number 3. So who the hell knows?
I got mine in a closet, so I'll have to look at it.
There's duplicates of number 1. There's duplicates of number 2. It's fact.
So before we did this, you said it was going to be show and tell, and I pulled stuff. So we actually going to do that because if I don't put these back, I'm not going to be.
No, I like show and tell, but I
I'm
just
going
want
to
to
rant. I'm going to give you a rant if you don't let us do that.
What?
I'm going to give you a rant if you don't let us
get a
do
rant
that.
anyway about something. But yeah,
You're always going to get a rant, but I don't. You're not allowed to say rant. I have.
I hate that word.
Prattle.
It's okay.
Prattle.
I like
I
prattle.
don't even know what prattle
Look at
means.
that. Well, prattle means like rant. It's just a different
Okay.
form of rant
How about
because everyone
just go-
uses rant.
Let's just go postal. How's that?
No, that seems there's too much
No.
too much
Too much violence
Okay.
associated with going
too
postal.
much
Okay.
bad stuff associated with that.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but yeah.
I'm already triggered. It's too late, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have some more of that Belgian triple you're drinking out of that glass. I don't know
It's
what
actually it's a Stella masquerading in a Belgian triple glass. But
Artois.
Hey,
no
yes,
no
exactly.
merch store yet. I'm working on some new logos. I had to go back to the drawing board, so that will happen in the week coming.
Hey,
in.
Steve, since
Yeah.
our last show 3 weeks ago, the other exciting news for you, I'm sure, was that they re-announced the Mariah Carey you've been waiting for.
Finally.
We talked
They
about
were
that. That got
teasing
a
us, man.
lot of that.
They
got a lot of
re-announced
press.
the Christmas
I'm
album.
ready to prattle now.
And then a few weeks back, remember we were talking about before it was released, the whole Beatles box.
Yeah.
And in that Beatles box, I mean, here Canadian, it's going to be $450. I think it is shipped to my door. I'm not going to buy it. And I mean, you could buy the individual ones, right? With the Beatles box, you get that extra, the Beatles story. I'm going to save everyone a lot of time. This is my Beatles story. I've never listened to it before, and I don't plan on it. So if you want to have, here's what it looks like, just so everyone knows. There it is. Okay.
If you're patient, you can find those
Look at
original monos out in the wild.
Look at that. And I think this is on. I won't even be able to tell you because I've never actually played it. I think it's. Look at this. It won't even open up. I can't. It's like stuck in there.
It's on Capitol.
Hang on. It's let's see what label it's on here.
It should be on Capitol, isn't it?
It's on Capital Purple.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear. I'm waiting to hear that side of Hard Day's Night. That's all instrumentals from the movie.
Yeah, I have that from years ago too. I never listened to it.
I've heard a lot of good things about the Impex Three Blind Mice. I've never heard any, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. So, not my wheelhouse, but I have heard good stuff.
Yeah, I have too. And that Sinatra album by Impex comes out, I believe, next year as well. If you guys are interested,
I think the one step's been issued already.
The Sinatra is out?
The dance one, yeah. I think I saw it on the in group, yeah.
So far we've talked about Louis Armstrong, Mariah Carey, and now Sinatra. Where the hell am I? Am I my grandfather's stream?
Are you trying to get
We
a
haven't got to
preemptive
Mantovani
prattle
yet,
in
so
here?
just don't be careful what you wish for.
Okay, Patrick, you've lobbied enough. You can start your show and tell.
All right,
I'll put you full screen, one at a time. One at a time. Don't blow your wad in the first minute. Okay.
I need to do it in sections because I did it different. So I did something new first, new reissues first that probably sound good because I haven't listened to this one first. But so this is the Santana Abraxas, the recut on super vinyl. I have had the original MoFi, and my favorite is the UK Abraxas. So I will be opening this up, giving it a spin, and I will let y'all know what I think. And the next one, this one is actually, this is the Sundays, reading, writing, and arithmetic. This was redone on Interscope, high fidelity. This is probably, I think, like a $24 record.
Wow.
These things in the wild go for $100. And
who's mastering that one, Patrick?
I don't know. I've listened to it. Someone sent it to me, and it's not as good as the original, but it's way better than the Record Store Day one. And this thing is going to sell out, I guarantee you. And it's going to cost a lot of money in the future. So it's probably under $30 right now. And I hope they do blind and static and silence. I have originals of all three. But this band could use a box set. The
Don't
three
blow your-
albums.
don't blow your wad.
12-inch singles. So yeah, I only have. We're good. These two.
Michael T.
Okay, something I picked up. I picked up a Rhino October. Did you guys know that came out last Friday? Rhino October.
What did you pick up?
Yeah, they issued titles from Typo Negative and Ministry. The one I picked up though was the NXS X. It's on red vinyl.
Translucent red vinyl.
Yes, and the Dead Wax appears that they just cut this at GZ Media, so they didn't have a mastering engineer cut it. That's known. Just GZ Media pressed at Memphis Record Pressing, from what I can tell from the Dead Wax. But it does sound okay, and it says on here it hasn't been in print in over 20 years. So, although I didn't MoFi do a silver label of this? I think they did. So I think the hype sticker might be slightly inaccurate because that was 2013.
Suicide Blonde is the song.
Yeah,
the big song,
and Disappear was a great song too. Yep.
Right.
So I picked that up just on Friday. It was sold out at most local stores though. I found it in one copy in one store.
So
If
you like White
the surface
Snake,
noise on that?
Look at that.
It's actually pretty quiet. I cleaned it though.
Cool.
I cleaned it ultrasonically first. So, but it does sound okay. It's on red vinyl. But if you're an NXS fan, it's it sounds good. $25 I paid for it. So
Right on. Yeah,
not bad.
I mean, it's just MRP's got a reputation for a lot of
I mean, it's just
issues.
but they don't.
Yeah.
If it's MRP, they cut. If they cut in Czech Republic, they don't have lathes at MRP.
They don't play it at
wow.
MRP. One of my best friends is a COO at MRP.
Yeah, they cut and plate in the Czech Republic. They have DMM, direct metal mastering.
But they have 48 of the GZ presses there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can do more records than any other plant in America.
Yeah, so I've noticed if it says made in Canada, it's Precision, which is GZ owned. If it's made in the USA with those computerized Dead Wax, it's usually Memphis Record Pressing. Yeah. Anyway, that's the one. That's my first one.
Show another one. Show
what
and tell.
What else did I get? Okay. I also picked up last week a title that came about a month ago from Contemporary Records, Jazz. Maggie's Back in Town. It's called Howard McGee. This sounds really good. Cut by Bernie Grunman, pressed at Quality Record Pressings. So just a classic jazz record from I think the late 50s or early 60s possibly. I 61 actually says, yep. So with the classic Contemporary Records QRP. Sounds great. Someone else go.
Jefferson.
So these I found out about these from one of the ERC people who turned me on to them. These are the David Bowie catalog was recut from 1980 to 1981, and it was a tape one. They got the first Newman VMS 80 lathe in 1979, first one to end up in the UK. So when they did that, they recut a bunch of stuff, and Bowie specifically was made for the international distribution. So you can tell by this green label. Yeah. And so you'll see them occasionally. They're not expensive. I don't think I paid more than $20 for any of these. And they're either mastered by Jeff Pesha, Pounda, and or Bilbo, Dennis Beckman. And they're all at tape one. And, to me, these at least rival the originals, if not better.
I knew Mark was going to say something. Project Gemini, Mark is always championing those things. So he's always
Project Gemini is a huge fan and collector of the international Bowie pressings.
Yeah. All I got to say is that they sound great. They're still under the radar. And, you always want to look at the Dead Wax. And if you see tape one, Pounda, or Bilbo, I mean, those are pretty much instant buys anyway if the artist is someone you care for. But these Green Label Internationals are so good, very inexpensive, and you see them quite a bit. So keep an eye out for those.
Those are UK.
Michael T.
They're
Glenn.
UK, but they're for the UK for international market, right?
They're all the green labels, so just look for the green label.
Exactly.
I just noticed here, Glenn was just saying he just bought Billy Squire from Intervention Records last week after the interview he had with Shane. So, yes, it's brilliant.
Get the Flying
Yeah,
Burrito
it's-
Brothers reissues. Those things are great too.
I want those ones
Yeah,
too.
Those are
and
phenomenal.
the Gene Clark will just break your heart, man. All of those are good.
Isn't this is so true for everyone, right? Aggie 88. The good news is there's so much good music available on vinyl currently. The bad news is can't afford to buy it all. Got to be selective.
Yeah, I mean, case in point for me, like all the Blue Note, the Tone Poet, and then all the Deutsche Grammophon original series. I want all those, but I just can't afford all of them. I mean, I'd be going broke buying some of those, you know.
I wish I was more into classical. I'd be going broke on
Yeah,
Deutsche
because they're
Grammophon.
putting out so many. They're putting out so
So
many of
many.
those.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
They're just committed to cutting those and getting every little bit they can out of the tape. They're building their own reverb chambers. I mean, I don't know shit about classical, but I appreciate the effort and care that they're putting into those releases.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, what they're doing is they're going back to the 4-track and 8-track masters.
It's a remix.
And they're mixing them live to lathe.
Yeah.
So they're bypassing the previous mix downs.
We had them on the show like last year, I think.
Yeah,
didn't we?
you had Sydney on. Yes, I remember.
Mhm.
Sydney cuts for them. Yeah.
I was looking in the comments. Matthew Sweet is another one. The intervention.
Yeah, the Matthew
records.
Suite's great.
Great stuff.
Yeah, everything is put out is great. And we were given Steve and I got copies of the Everclear title that just came out. Still haven't.
Yeah, grab Everclear if you guys haven't. And what a great
Yeah,
90s band.
This just came out.
Turn
yeah.
it around, show them the vinyl. There's
Yeah,
yellow.
yellow sold out. It's available on clear vinyl now. But this is
How much? How much are they? And I love the fact
about
when
40
Shane,
bucks.
this whole artist intent thing. Look at artist intent. The artist approved it on the label. It has his signature there.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Artist intent.
Should I give him a little known fact about Shane also?
Yeah, sure.
Shane is the U.S. distributor for Lyra cartridges. And Shane also distributes a very, very high-end turntable and tone arms company called SAT, Swedish Analog Technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Where was he going after the show? A few days after our show, didn't he have like a 300,000 turntable? He was
Yeah,
taking
he was
to a
going to take
dealer?
it. He was going to take it to Colorado. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And the SAT arms start at 60,000. They're expensive.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Are they linear?
No, they're not.
Yeah, well.
But I was at a dealer's place when
Not for
he was dismantling the tone arm. The tone arm has bearings you have to remove and put dummy bearings in place to ship it because they're so
Right.
expensive.
Well, don't all pivoting tone arms have bearings?
Yeah, so the SAT you have to remove them and put dummies in their place to ship them because the bearings are so expensive.
So are the bearings
when
a German bearing?
When your tone arm's worth more than your car, there's a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean,
You're probably
I
not
think
married or have
component
kids or a
X.
family if you have that type of equipment. Is
Yeah.
my guess.
Yeah.
Or
I think
you're
when
a
it's component
billionaire.
X is worth more than a car.
But if you're a
Yeah,
billionaire, you don't have fucking time to play records.
I've heard Michael Fremer's needle drops of stuff, and they're not that good. And he's got like a massive freaking turntable system, and they're not that good.
Oma turntable. Yeah, that's also a $300,000 turntable.
It ain't the equipment, man. It's the source. The first thing it is, it's the source. The source is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
But then it's subjective
sure.
to your ears and how you want to hear it too, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see any way that you could wring that much performance out of that last, say, $250,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I guess if you're a
4%
turntable,
maybe?
if your turntable costs more than the lathe, that's kind of interesting too, huh?
I love Andrew Lick. Diminishing
That's a good
marginal
point, yeah.
returns. 100% correct.
Not really, Joey. I do love my linear arm. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've never heard an arm that I would take over it, honestly. And I've heard a lot, especially guys that have really expensive tone arms and do recordings and things. And I just like the way that one sounds. I do have a Techniques here that sounds amazing. You know, once I put the cab modifications on them, those are great. Once I put the fluid damper on there, wow.
Yeah.
But
Well, at the end of the day, the record is cut linearly, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it seems like the best way to track it is with the linear tone arm. I mean,
it has a different sound. It definitely has a different sound.
It adds air. It adds air also. It does add some air to the sound that's not always natural.
yeah.
You notice that with linear trackers?
My quad system has a linear tracking turntable just because it's better for the the CD4 decoding. But I don't really use it for anything but quad records, so I don't really have a frame reference. I have a similar turntable to Patrick's, and then I'm toying with the idea of getting a linear tracking arm. But God, it's just
On your
a lot of
VPI,
modifications.
you have a VPI.
I have a Scoutmaster. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we emailed it back and forth about this once. Yeah.
Joey's asking, so why don't we see more linear tables, gentlemen?
Because they're fussy as hell. They're fussy as
too much,
hell.
Too much work.
Yeah.
And the reality is, if you get a good 12-inch tone arm, there isn't that much distortion. I mean, there's yeah.
I mean,
it goes back to this.
Alignment and stylus profile.
Exactly.
Distortion all starts with your stylus profile and your alignment. I mean, I've got a micro line on here, and it tracks beautifully on a checking. So
I guess if we all had unlimited budgets, though,
either with the linear sorry to interrupt, with the linear tracking arm, there's no real set it and forget it, right? Don't you constantly need to check it and adjust it?
Oh no, I haven't touched mine in years. I mean, it's like
really,
I just kind of. Well, I mean, I'll check the weight of the once in a while to see if anything's like off, but yeah, I mean, it's been set it and forget it for me.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
I was going to say
the guy that made my arm doesn't make them anymore. Yeah.
So if we had unlimited budgets, guys, would you just go out and buy the most expensive turntable and all the records money could buy? I mean, wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun. Wouldn't be fun. This is fun. Experimenting and saving your money and researching.
I got these tubes that I paid a fortune for, but I'm excited to try them. And I'm sitting here, I'm literally playing them and breaking them in while we're talking because I want to hear what they sound like over time. So it's fun to go out in the wild and buy and find records and look for stuff you've never seen before, even if it's cheesy stuff. Like I found a Martha and the Muffins album I've never seen before. I bought it for like $3, but it's something I've never seen before.
That's a Canadian band, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll see your cheese and raise you. I saw today at a record store the Laverne and Shirley album right next to the Lenny and Squiggy album. Okay, so. Yeah, well, no.
So I have quite a few things left to show. Are we going to keep going or what?
Well, hang on. You said Martha and the Muffins. That's a Canadian band, and their big song was Echo Beach, which had a lot of airplay on Canadian radio. Do you have that one? I already had that one.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one after it. So
I liked Echo Beach. That was a big song for them.
Yeah, that's actually why I bought this album, because I had that one. I got that one. And I liked it, so I said, "Okay." I saw that and I bought it. So.
Yeah, I think Echo Beach. They're from Toronto area. I want to say that's where they're from. But yeah, that had a lot. That had a lot of airplay here in Canada.
So my second of 3 phases. I have 2 albums that are so cheap you can get them anywhere for not a lot of money. So my first one is going to be the Rosington Collins Band. This is anytime, any place, anywhere. This was the remnants of Leonard Skinner after the plane crash. Pretty much everyone that survived. With Rosington's wife Dale Krantz as the lead vocalist, but this is a great record. If you've never heard it before, you see this record for $1 somewhere, buy it. I mean, it's not Leonard Skinner. It's a little bit more darker than Leonard Skinner.
What's the back look like? Let's see it. Is it gatefold or just?
Yeah, it's just got all the players in it. It might be a gatefold.
Hold on.
Yeah,
don't misunderstand me.
Yeah, that's a great song. Yeah. Prime Time's a good song.
Yeah. Everybody except Steve Gaines, I think, is on there. I don't think
Steve Gaines. Yes. Well, Steve Gaines died. So.
Well, no, I mean not Steve. Sorry, not Steve Gaines. The drummer.
Artemis Pyle. Yeah,
I don't think he's on there either.
And I don't know what the bass player is. And here's one that everybody knows,
Leon
but probably has forgotten about. This is a great record. I mean, this is a 10-star record. And if you haven't listened to this in a while,
what's the record? Tell us what it is.
Nazareth, Hair of the Dog.
There it is.
So if you have this record and haven't listened to it in a while, go put it on and listen to it and tell me this is freaking great. This is an amazing record, inexpensive, and it's one of those ones that it should be up there with the Led Zeppelins of that era.
And it's got Hair of the Dog and Love Hurts, right? They're both on there.
Well, the U.S. version, the U.S. album has Love Hurts. The UK version doesn't have Love Hurts. So they got a different track listing. So
is the UK
Vertigo?
Go ahead, Pat.
UK's on Vertigo.
Yeah, and is that UK sound better than the US, notwithstanding the track difference? versus the
I think that
A&M?
it's a great sounding record. They're comparable, I would say, for sure.
Okay,
They're
fair enough.
comparable.
I've never heard the UK. I see the A&M all over the place. It's
You know what's really odd about that album? I thought that Nazareth wrote "Love Hurts," and then I heard a Roy Orbison cover from the '60s. So it wasn't a Nazareth song.
They did a lot of covers. Their first album, they did a cover of "Morning Dew," I think, by the Grateful Dead. I think they did, and then they did a few covers.
Yeah. So Michael, "Love Hurts" was originally an Everly Brothers song in 1960.
Wow. Okay.
Nazareth did it in '74, but of course we had Graham Parsons do it on his only album, his last album before, once he passed.
That whole record is just driving, except for "Love Hurts." I mean, "Love Hurts" is like the anathema of that record. The whole album is just in your face with that gravelly voice. If you haven't listened to it in a while, go listen to it. It's absolutely
Nazareth
stellar.
just had a lot of big play in Canada. They were another big popular in Canada, that band, even though they're from the UK. But yeah, Roy Orbison did the cover, 1961, and it was a B-side for his song "Running Scared," which was a big hit. If you guys remember that one.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. What else do you have?
I have reissues done right from long ago. So and there's even 2 Japanese pressings. So people say I hate Japanese pressings. This is for you. So these are reissues that sound great and were done correctly from years ago. This is the 1982 Red Wax Mono of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Like I said, this is the 1982 series. This is the one you want. You don't want to get the 1986 because those sounds like shit. These are on Red Wax mono. They did the whole catalog in mono. This is probably one of the better sounding ones.
How much are they?
Bassy. You probably get this for 150. But this was done in '82. The whole series is super clean, well done, nice packaging, as you know the Japanese do. Next is 2 from a little known reissue label from Germany called Second Battle. This one is Eloy's first album. This album goes for like $500-$600. The original with the trash can cover. These guys were based out of a shop in Germany, and I actually Facebooked the guy that did it, and like a couple weeks ago said, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Did you all use analog masters for this?" I said, "Yeah, this was like 1984, 85. They did analog masters for all of them. So this is cut from the analog tapes. This is an original. This probably goes like 500, but this thing sounds phenomenal, absolutely amazing." Another one they did was a band called 26 and Then. There's another $1,000 record, original, and this is Reflections of the Past. It's on 3 albums. This was done beautifully, absolutely stunning, great stuff.
And the
last
original
one
is crazy.
And the last one is a Italian prog rock called Museo Rosenbach. This is off 7 Seas, which is a Japanese reissue label from the early 80s. This sounds another $1,500 record, but like I said, this was done in the early 80s, and it was a reissue done very well. This sounds really, really good. Highly recommend this. You can still get these for probably not that expensive. I'm not sure. This was loaned to me to record, but anyway, those are some reissues that were done long ago that were done really, really well, the way things should have been done.
You want to save money? I mean, Hoffman was on Beatles mono in CD. Sound great, and they're not that expensive. Don't get the fake one, the rip-off ones. Save yourself a lot of money, and you don't have to buy the vinyl mono, and then take that money and buy more records elsewhere. Sounds great. No complaints. Well, a lot of you guys probably have this. I mean, for the price, wow.
Is that 33 or 45 RPM?
Well, I'm not sure what it is. But yeah.
I can't get the needle to track on those discs.
Well, you know what? Yeah, just keep trying. Okay, just keep trying. maybe trying a 78 RPM record.
I haven't tried a
player.
linear tracking arm yet.
Mac,
so
it was produced by the guitar player Manny Charlton. So that's who produced it, not Roger Glover. Hair of the Dog was done by Manny Charlton, who was the guitar player.
Some good picks, and they're not that expensive, right? Some of that, just the ones that you have there, those are the reissues, right?
Well, some of them, I mean, like the second battles are getting pricey, probably $100.
Are they?
Yeah, but I mean, but the originals are unobtainium. I mean, those are a super high dollar. I mean, it's just I want to show them as an example of what things were done early on and how reissues used to be done. You can throw the DCCs in there as well, where care was taken. And they did things, as well as possible. It wasn't it was a labor of love. Like for Second Battle, they were just a record store, that started putting those out. So,
well, he had 40 years of tape freshness too, compared to now. Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe we should start a petition today, and that would be getting the DCC plates relicensed. Who do we go to?
Are they
How do
sitting
we
at
do that?
I wonder if they're sitting at RTI in storage. You think so?
You can ask Mr. Hoffman. You've got.
I'm going
you're buddies
to.
with him.
Why don't I do that? And I think we should get a.
But him and Kevin seem to have kind of turned their back on those things.
Crowdsourcing.
They've kind of turned their back on those things and said, "Oh, I've moved on to other things." Because I remember I've asked Kevin a couple of questions about the DCCs, and he just kind of like slow plays it, and just kind of like I don't think they're. I think they've moved on from those days.
But I mean, we've now learned with the way the Rhino is doing their thing, and of course MoFi and Acoustic or Analog Productions, it's all about money. So if there's a market for something like this, if there's enough people that are loud enough and saying, "Hey, we want DCC reissued using those plates," we'd buy it. It's a market. It's money.
Well, all you got to do is show them what the DCCs are going for on Discogs. I mean, that alone should do it. Especially if they have the plate, if they have the plates available, they can.
I'm telling you, man, get some throwback. Welcome to 1984. Whatever.
A DCC throwback label doesn't have to be DCC. It could be a throwback. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do crowd.
Brain,
let's do it today. You heard it first here on the Audiophile Roundtable.
Brain did it for years. Brain redid their plates for years.
Can you imagine? You got the Doors at Hotel California. Recut on those. Oh my God.
Yeah. Brain masters of that. Masters of it.
And the cool thing about Brain is that it's krautrock for the most part, right? So it never sold that well anyway. So those
so they're not crazy worn. They're not crazy worn. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, up until I think the early '80s Black Label Brain, some of those use the same stampers. Certainly the red label, the red Brain. Yeah.
Even a lot of the blacks use the same stampers. If you go look at the Scorpions, Lonesome Crow, go look through the generations. It's the same fucking tapes, the same fucking things.
Patrick, start your own record label. PB-Thal audiophile label. A PB-Thal audiophile label.
Tell you what, man, I've got a lot of material I could release.
Specializing in DCC master plates.
I got tons of ideas.
I've got tons of stuff that's already. Well, honestly, I think Gearson's going to use my hard stuff recording for their reissue. So
Oh, cool. That's awesome. They're a good reissue label. So I've just got some more random stuff here, and this is I don't know if we're supposed to be affordable or not, but is
vinyl even affordable any longer?
This pressing is certainly not. This is an original on Warp of Boards of Canada. Music Has the Right to Children. I discovered this album 10 years after it came out, but the tones, the sonic landscape of this, it's phenomenal. First time I heard it on vinyl, I was just stunned. I had to go play it 3 times in a row. What they do here is just amazing. I can't really speak to the reissues because I held out for an original, but if you like this kind of ambient sort of trippy trip hop Portisheady, I can't recommend this enough. But again, it's not cheap, but it's worth seeking out the original Warp if you can.
So
go ahead.
So one thing with Boards of Canada, just so everyone knows, they're not from Canada, they're Scottish. Just so everyone knows that. Yeah. And I think they came around in the mid '80s, and so it's like a down tempo psychedelic ambient, like you were saying, electronic type of sound to it.
This one was '97, I think, originally.
Okay.
That specific album. Another one, you love it. Robert Fripp, King Crimson. This is actually a UK, but you can find this all over, clean, usually less than $10, and it's great. It's like a little bit of Robert Fripp. It's like King Crimson. It's got Peter Gabriel's on a couple of tracks. Daryl Hall. There's also Adrian Blue. It's just really, really nice. It's kind of like the gateway drug to prog rock, in a way, and it's really easy to find. So, Robert Fripp, Exposure.
How much are those?
Well, this is a UK. I paid a little bit more for it, but like 25, 27 euros.
That's
but you can see them. You can see them for under 10, under 20 for sure, in really clean shape. this is the tried and true. You know it, you love it. But the Robert Loveland Led Zeppelin Houses of the Holy, it's hard to be. I mean, the George Pierce is good too, but the Robert Ludwig's very plentiful and really good, really easy to find, and probably better than the UK without near the price tag. I mean, this is something that you can find regularly for under $50, usually 20 to 30. Yeah, and you can go, Michael. I can keep going, but I'm just kind of like all over the map now.
Any more?
Okay.
Michael has more. You got more. You
Well,
only brought a couple.
you know what? This is kind of a unique title. I bought a title from Josh from High Fidelity Records that was part of the Danny Kaye collection.
It's highfidelityrecords.com, I think.
Yeah, he was selling some of Danny Kaye's records. You can remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, and I
mostly
bought
test pressings.
Yeah, actually, the reason I bought this is so about a month ago I had a chance to listen to Lacquers. Shane from Intervention brought some lacquers over at a place I was at. So I listened to some lacquers from Intervention. Then I heard a lacquer of John Coltrane, the one that was released in Austria. It just sounded amazing. So I decided to buy my first lacquer, and it was from Josh. And it's a lacquer. I'm a big fan of Julie London. And this is literally a lacquer. It looks different. It's a lacquer. It smells different. And you can see the Bernie Grundman label on it. It definitely smells different. And this is, see the Bernie Grumman label on there? Yeah. So it's a one of a kind. So for those that don't know, a lacquer is literally cut on the lathe. It doesn't go through the whole pressing process. So I bought this from High Fidelity Records, and it wasn't.
I have their website up right now, Michael, just so everyone can know. High Fidelity Records, and I actually bought something off of this website as well that I will, once I get it.
Yeah.
One of my grails, so I will show everyone that. It's been that again. Thank you, Josh from High Fidelity Records. That's awesome. It's got some good stuff going on here.
Yeah. So, like I said,
Michael,
yeah.
Oh, I was just going to ask quickly. So, the first time you played it, did it go straight through to the Atari? Did you make a tape of it?
No, I have not made a tape yet on Reel. No,
Okay.
no. But anyway, you can see Bernie going. So the story of this Julie London, it was cut for a small label called Boxstar Records in 2008. It went under. It was cut straight from the analog tape, and then Chad reissued it. Chad got the metal parts, and then he reissued it for Acoustic Sounds. This is her first album. Julie is her name, that has Crimea River on it. And when I listened to Lacquers with Shane, he played the pressing versus the lacquer, and there's a huge difference, because you're not going through the whole process of pressing it, making mothers, fathers, plating it. But again, it's a one of a kind item. I think I paid about $150 for it. He was originally asking $400. That was out of my price range, but then he lowered it to $150. So my first lacquer, anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I have the Black Sabbath self-titled lacquer that Kevin Gray gave me. It's just phenomenal. I think I played it for you, Jefferson, when I first got it.
Yep, I was very happy to hear it. So
be nice to see if Rhino puts out another Black Sabbath. That would be nice to see. What do you got?
Yeah, we need more controversy.
What would be the controversy, though?
It doesn't matter, Pat. We'll figure out something.
So the controversy is you limit it to 5,000.
Oh God!
You number it. Then you press 5,000 more. Then you make it a Rocktober title.
Well, the controversy is when one person on the internet who has like mega thousands of people says that it's too bright, and then another person that has mega thousands of people says it's too dark, and it's like, okay, so who's listening to what?
It's like, would you jump off a bridge if that person jumped off the bridge? I mean,
well,
really, make your own decision. It doesn't make sense, man.
I made my own decision, but I mean, I was fully in the Vertigo camp from day one. It took me literally 20 seconds of hearing the intro to Black Sabbath to know that the Vertigo was for me, and that's the one I liked. So I mean, that was easy money for me, perfectly easy money for me. Easy.
Did you guys know they actually issued the Black Sabbath Rhino High Fidelity and the Devo Rhino High Fidelity on Friday as part of Rhino Rocktober from the same parts?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not numbered anymore. So
Kevin's only mastered it once. So I mean, whatever plates they're using, I can confirm that, guys.
Yeah,
so it's only been mastered once.
They have the Obi strip on Rhino Rocktober saying mastered by Kevin Gray. Yeah.
So that would mean then, wouldn't it say in the lacquer, and it would say Rhino Hi-Fi in the lacquer and those on the RSD ones, wouldn't it? It's still in the Rhino Hi-Fi
on the
record.
Rhino October. Yeah, they actually say
You would
Rhino
have-
High Fidelity. They
yeah,
say
you would
Rhino
have to.
High Fidelity on
It's the
them.
same. It's the
Yeah.
same metal parts. That's
The
why.
Obi says Rhino High Fidelity. They just released them again on Rhino October.
Like I said, that album should be in print. I'm glad it's in print. That record should be in print. You should be able to go and buy a nice sounding copy of it, you know, any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Those kind of records need to be in print, like the Doors, the ZZ Tops. Those records need to be in print. They're done well. Are they the best of the best? Not in my opinion, but they need to be in print. Why don't they read, you know,
the Devo sounds damn good. I've heard the Devo.
The Devo sounds great. The Devo sounds
really
great.
good.
The Car self-titled sounded really good. I like that a lot. So they're not bad. They're not bad sounding. I mean, I've never said that they were bad sounding.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a possibility.
And they need to be in print. So
there's still a possibility they could then reissue the Cars self-titled. I think that's a possibility. We know they're using the same plate, so.
And the Marquee Moon is out of print too, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the television. Yeah. So
someone was mentioning Daryl Hall, weren't you guys? Who was mentioning Daryl Hall in one of the?
I mentioned it when I was talking about Fripp.
So
yeah, he did an album with Fripp, didn't he?
Yeah, it's called Sacred Songs, I think.
Yeah, people are asking about that record these days. I've heard that record. I've heard that record mentioned like more in the last week than I ever had in my life. So I didn't even know it existed until all of a sudden it's become a thing.
Yeah, there's a Peter Gabriel song on there too, I think, or he sings on one of the back end.
Check this out. So Daryl Hall came to Vancouver. We do what's called a Peony. It's a big fair where we have all these big artists go and do a concert during the summertime and in the fall and September. So Daryl Hall came to the Peony in Vancouver. I have a video of it. Check this out. He sits down and watch this.
You were muted. What did he say?
What's that?
What did he say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but what did he say?
Well, Daryl Hall. I have a video. I don't know why it's not playing, but there's a video of Daryl Hall. He sits down, starts to play, and it's not working. Let me see if the video works. I want to see that.
I might have to stop.
It's okay. Oh my God. No way. Take a break. Love you just the way you are.
What did we just see?
Yeah. Was he
Daryl
sick
Hall,
or something? Or what?
I don't know. I saw that video. It was in Vancouver this summer, and I think he either tried to start his show and started the first song and then had to walk off.
Had to bail?
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that when I was a kid, he was very young looking, and now he looks very old. So that means
guess
I'm
what
extremely old.
happens over? I'll tell you what happens over time with people, Jefferson.
What's
get
that?
fucking old. You look old.
Is that why I'm so stiff these days? Damn.
The older you live, the longer you live, the older you're going to look. Even Botox won't save you over time. You're still going to look stupid with the Botox at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Leave him alone. He's a family man.
The whole thing with Botox or any kind of
come on, Sarah, smile.
Is that? Oh, never mind.
Any news around the upcoming UHQR surprises? I think I know the title. I'm not going to say. Can't say.
I won't be buying it. I know that.
Can't say.
Is it another oversaturated title?
Could be redundancy. Can't say. Redundancy.
See, more Steely Dan, more Doors.
Every time I look in my closet at that shelf, I get mad.
Steely Dan. I forgot about that. We haven't talked. Oh my God. Before we go, we haven't talked about Steely Dan. We're not going to. There you go.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it until next year anyway, right?
I don't care to. Doesn't matter.
Get pushed. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, but Daryl Hall, great artist. That's too bad to see that. I'm not trying to downplay that video. I just find it really upsetting because I mean, someone you listen to your whole life, and I mean, yeah, we all get old. He's got to be in his late 70s now, probably.
If only there was a website, I could check that. Let me see.
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT can look that shit up for you.
You know what I saw the other day? The oldest
77 years old. His
Yeah.
birthday is.
He's not a
his
young
birthday,
man.
His birthday's in 2 days.
God, hope he's
I
doing
saw
better.
the oldest rock and roller still performing is
Mick
Ringo
Jagger?
Starr. Ringo Starr, 84.
So Mick Jagger's 80, right? So Ringo's
No,
84.
Ian Hunter's older than that, isn't he? Ian Hunter's like
Ringo's
ancient,
more
isn't
than 84? Really?
What's Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull? He's got to be
No,
up there too.
Ian Hunter's 85 years old.
But is Ian Hunter still touring? I haven't.
Yeah, from Mott the Hoople, he is.
No,
yeah.
he hasn't come around the Bay Area then, because you think last time I heard him doing a tour was he played the Fillmore like 10 years ago, but I haven't heard him come around since then.
Yeah.
Events. Let's see.
Okay, what's the next UHK
Hey, he's got-
expected then? Is it a Steely Dan? Is it Royal Scam? I guess. Is it Royal Scam? Is that the one that hasn't been?
No, I think they're doing Katie Lied first, which
This whole thing's been a royal scam. But, yeah.
I mean, supposedly Katie Lied was going to be in September, and then Royal Scam in December.
They keep
I
pushing
think
off. They keep pushing off the albatross that is Katie Lied until the very
Well,
end.
I
Like,
don't know
we
why
can't.
they
We can't
say
find a
it's the
good tape.
last.
We can't find anything. We're doing the best we can.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be lackluster because the original album was lackluster. Except, I mean, there's the songs that Robert Ludwig did on the greatest hits, but that was weird. I always thought it was weird that they were doing that September and then Royal Scam was going to be last. It's like save Katie Lied for last. I mean,
So Herbie Hancock's 84. He's still touring.
Okay.
Someone mentioned Ron Carter is 87. The jazz musician. Bass player.
Unless you can like reverse
Hancock
engineer DBX.
Hancock will be 85 in April of next year.
Yep.
Here's this thing. Okay, I asked Steve Hoffman this. I said, Steve, Katie Lied, DBX fiasco. He's like, shouldn't be an issue. I'm like, why? Because if you have the proper equipment, the decoding equipment, which Bernie would have, there shouldn't be an issue to that. That's what I thought.
And why has it been an issue since day one?
Yeah, read the article, Katie and the Gremlin, and it explains it.
But
very
I talked
thoroughly.
to Steve Hoffman, who mastered Katie Lied for CD.
Well,
and he
the
didn't
guy
have
who
an issue
produced
with
it, the engineer didn't produce it. There's a huge write up on what's his name, Ron, what's his name?
Nicole says January for Katie
Yeah,
Lied.
Jeff Nichols.
Thank
Is
you.
it Jeff Nichols? Roger Nichols. Roger Nichols.
Buddy
but
Guy,
Danny-
88.
Danny Diaz is the one that wrote the article about all the issues that were inherent with it.
It's I think Roger Nichols was the producer of the engineer.
Yeah, it was Roger Nichols.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that, gentlemen. Thanks for coming out.
Nice to
Stay
see
safe
everybody.
in Florida, guys.
Well,
Thank you.
So yeah, there's a video video called Katie Lied DBX debacle.
Okay, we'll get that.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
guys. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Good to see everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good summer.